The following is a production of the Dallas Genealogical Society. For more information, please visit our website at dallasgenealogy.org.
Go here. There we go. So is it still correct? You still have the correct thing. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and start. Welcome to the Dallas Genealogical Society German Genealogy Group. And the red arrow points to our brand new logo. We got our very own logo. I was really excited about that. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and talk about how to find us. We're at dallasgenealogy.org. This is the home page. If you scroll down on the home page a little bit, at the top bar, you can look under Events, Special Interest Group, and German Genealogy Group. And that's how you can see our information. We have previous meetings that are underneath the previous meetings tab. I know it's kind of small, but they're there. And under downloads, we're going to be talking about something that's under downloads in a little while. So I just wanted to point out where downloads was on our page. Okay. Our Facebook page is German Genealogy Group of North Texas. And you can join us, but you are going to have to answer a couple questions or you will get denied. So just be aware of that, trying to keep out people that are not really interested in German genealogy. So we thank you for that. So there's some upcoming webinars that we're going to point out. And if I can get my mouse to work here. One of them is that the Michigan Germanic Genealogy Society is going to be having James Beidler talk. And he's from the Society of Pennsylvania, and it's going to be on finding the right German place. And so their website is miggs.org, and that's on Friday the 11th, which is coming up pretty quickly. Another one that's coming up is Family Search Library is having a Getting Started with Research in Germany on September 11th, September 13th at 10 a.m. Central. And you can find their list of presentations on familysearch.org/en/wiki/family search _library_classes_webinars. All these are in the handout. Well, I believe some of these are in the handout. Most of these are in the handout, or we'll post them on Facebook. Legacy Family Tree Revenue Webinars is having Driven by Faith, the German Protestants in Ukraine. That's on September 15th, and that's on familytreewebinars.com. Family Search is having another one on the 20th of September, Denmark, census records, if you have anybody in the area that was near Denmark. The next one is Germany Genealogy Unlocked. They're having a starting German genealogy step-by-step by Catherine Schrober on Tuesday, the 26th. This will probably sell out very quickly. So if you go to genealogyunlock.com, you may be able to still get into the free lecture. The next one is also by Genealogy Unlocked, Breaking Down Brick Walls in German Genealogists, Where to Look and What to Do. That's on October 12th. And again, that's genealogyunlocked.com. The North Suburban Genealogy Society in Glenview, Illinois, is having the best websites for German research by the Ancestry guy. Okay, he's basically a professional genealogist, and that's October 14th. And you can get to their website at nsgsil.wildapricot.org. Okay. I love that website. Our next meeting will be on Saturday, November 11th at 10:30 a.m., back to our normal time and normal date. And Bernard Meisner will talk about using Hanson's map guides to locate your ancestors' parish records. And so keep on our Facebook page, and I also send out emails for that. All right, using German genealogy societies, special interest groups to break through your brick wall. So everybody knows that genealogy societies do a lot of good things, and they have a lot of knowledgeable people. And I'm going to talk a little bit about them because they know what's available. They know where the records are. They know if they even have records that can help you or connect you with the right person. So in my local society, I literally had to go over to a guy's house to find the records, but I found the records at his house. Okay. It was not at the library, wasn't a historical society. It was at his house. Okay. But I found him. So you got to find the right person to help you. All right, we're going to break this into two kind of sections. I'm going to start about some of the major U.S. genealogy groups first that specialize in German genealogy. And then I'm going to talk about the genealogy groups in Germany and what they have and how they can help you. So first of all, I have to mention our group because our group basically doesn't have a library per se. We use the Dallas the Dallas Library as our library. And so the 8th floor of the library is where you're going to find a huge collection. The collection at this library is actually the 10th largest in the United States for genealogy material. And the list of books for German research, the major books, can be found on our website where that downloads tab was I mentioned earlier. You can get the handout of what some of the major German collection is at the library. The entire 7th floor of the library is Dallas History and Archives Division. And this is a collection for not just Dallas, but all over Texas. And it is basically the whole floor at the library. So if you have any questions, you can ask us at ggg@dallasgenealogy.org, or you can contact the library and on their website, which is in your handout, you can reach them that way too. All right. Other Texas groups, I may have missed one, not sure, but the Texas Bay Area has a German special interest group, and that's around Houston area. And there's a German Heritage Society, which has working groups to do research, and they're in the Austin area. And of course, we have our North Texas chapter of Germans from Russia as well. These are the major German groups here in the Texas area. Now I'm going to go to New York. This group, this German genealogy group, is in New York. Now, the bad news is that they have meetings in person and Zoom, but you have to be a member to attend the Zoom meeting, which is kind of a bummer. So why am I talking about this group? Because they have a huge online database. They have all the naturalizations indexed for New York and New Jersey. And so this is in your handout. And if you're having trouble looking for a naturalization record in New York area or New Jersey, I would check out this website and this organization because they may be able to help you. Now, your ancestor may not have applied for naturalization in New York. Some did, some didn't. And like mine all waited till they got to their destination and applied. But you never know, right? If you can't find it, check that area. All right, this group, Historic Germania, is a nonprofit all about early Germans in Virginia. And they have a library, and I didn't look at their card catalog, but they have a brochure that I pointed you to, and it talks about all the collections and things that they have. Online, they have a database of Germania descendants, list of original settlers, and their villages and some other records available just free on their website to go look at. So this is an organization, I wouldn't call it necessarily a genealogy society, but it's still a 401k. I mean, a 401c. It's like a genealogy society. All right, now we're going to jump to California. There's a lot of genealogy societies in California. This is the Pomerania Special Interest Group. That's literally their name. They're a nonprofit organization in California. I've promoted some of their presentations, and I'll talk about one of them coming up in a minute. They cover what's shown on the little map. I don't know if you can see that, but basically from Germany, Poland, Russia, what was Pomerania there. And they have a magazine, a journal, the Journal of the Pomeranian People. These two are sample journals that you can actually download for free off of their website. And they're having their next presentation is going to be October 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. And it is going to be Dr. Roger Minert talking about marriage and courtship records in Germany from 1500 to 1800. And they don't have the information available yet, so I can't post it. But when they do, I will. So they have some good presentations and a lot of good information. I love their journals. It goes in depth in each little area and tells you what's available, where it is, etc., and how to get to it. The Southern California Genealogical Society has a German special interest group as well. And in this particular group, they have a lot of resources online. And again, most of these genealogy societies in the US aren't just like California. Like this is a California society. It doesn't just cover California, okay? It covers, basically around the United States and in Germany and various areas in Germany. So they have some sites that may have some websites for hints and so on and so forth. Okay, then we have the Immigrant Genealogy Society, which you may not realize is mostly German genealogy. This particular one is also in Burbank, like the last one, and it's been around a long time. They have a library in Burbank, which I actually was at. And the reason I went there is because they were the only place in the United States. Well, no, there was one of the only place in the United States I could get a particular microfilm to look at. Now they've gone through and pared down their collection a little bit, but you can still contact them and they will tell you if they have a particular resource or not. So, and I believe you can look up their card catalog and kind of see what they want. If not, I can get you in touch with the president because I know who he is. They also have meetings on the second Sunday. So like tomorrow, they're going to be having a meeting, which is 1 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock California time. And it's a small get together of people talking about German genealogy. And it's kind of entertaining and they find out something new or learn something new at those meetings. They also have a newsletter for their members. So again, it has a catalog that they may have a book, that they may have the only copy in the United States. So be aware. All right, the next California group, California is just crazy with Germans here. The Sacramento German Genealogy Society creates a journal called Der Blumbaum. And they have presentations as well that we sometimes promote. They have a resource list that is so large that they have a way to kind of filter to get to what you're looking for by category or time frame, which is available free. They also have all their newsletters. The August one just came out, so I grabbed this snapshot a little bit too early, but this is called Der Boat, and this one is free for anybody to just go to their website and look at their newsletters. All their newsletters are available, and that gives you an idea a little bit about the society and if it's helpful to join their society depending on what they're focusing on. Now we're going to go to Minnesota. This society is the one that helped create the International Partnership, German Genealogy Partnership. And they have speakers that we promote as well. They have a library. And once again, this library had a book that no other library in the United States had, and I had to go there to get it. It had a series, there's a series of books by Franz Schubert, who indexed all the marriage records in northern Germany. And so some of the books are in Salt Lake City, some of the books are in this library here in Minnesota. And then the last set was just purchased by the Allen County Public Library, and it covers mostly the Mecklenburg area churches. And that's at the Allen County Public Library, and they got it just before the conference occurred. So I got to find those books. So you never know what you're going to find. This particular organization also has a journal they produce. They have a free sample of their journal online, and all their newsletters are online as well. So it's a good organization, and they have a lot of really good presentations as well. Now, some of these you have to join to get the journals and things like that, and it helps with assistance as well. If you remember, you get a reduced, price for helping with assistance. The St. Louis Genealogy Society, on this webpage for the German Special Interest Group, they have their flyer. I don't know if you can tell, it's light blue there, and a short video on the German SIG and the St. Louis Society. This organization has a library, and this library is supposed to have a very large collection of Ortsfamilie books, or place family books, one of the largest collections in the United States of those kind of books. And they have a quarterly journal, but it's not strictly just German genealogy. The MAGS, which is the Mid-Atlantic German Genealogy Society, you can see the states kind of that they focus on right there in the picture a little bit. They produce a newsletter called, I'm not going to pronounce this one, De Courier or something like that. I'm not good at pronouncing. But anyway, you can see past issues of this online. And they help with those particular states especially, but they do help with other states as well. The Hamilton County, Ohio, which is Cincinnati, has a German special interest group, and they have a lot of resources, free databases, a lot of things like that. They do have a section on just, Hamilton County Germans, but they also have other collections that would be very helpful to look at if you have anybody like anywhere near that region. Pennsylvania does not have a German SIG, but this is the society, people like James Beidler, Lacapo, what's his first name? I lost it now. Okay, anyway, they're at that society here. And so it's not strictly just German, but it has a large German collection. And looking at their card catalog and what they have is going to be very helpful if you have anybody that's early Germans or anybody in Pennsylvania area. They're associated with the Historical Society and Museum Commission and the German Cultural Heritage Center. So they're very closely tied to a lot of German research. Okay, I'm not going to go through any more US ones because I know you want to hear about the German ones. So here's just a few other smattering of some other societies around. Some of them we've already talked about, like Germans from Russia, Palatin's America, etc. So these are just a few other societies in the United States, but you can look at them at your leisure. All right, German genealogy groups. There are two main different types of German genealogy groups. If they're a registered society, they have the little e, capital V after their name. They have a formal board, bylaws, etc. So that's more of a formal society. They also have many informal groups, and we'll show several examples of the informal groups. And they're just little working groups. And it's just a group of people that get together and try to help people or whatever. Now, a lot of times they have a website or a Facebook page. I'll point out to you what websites and Facebook pages that I found. And some of them have material for other parts of Germany. It's just like us. We have a relative, we live in Texas, we have a relative in Illinois. Well, they live in a certain part of Germany. They have ancestors from another part of Germany. So some of these societies are just like American genealogy societies where they have information for other parts. So don't necessarily just look at it as, oh, this one covers this area, okay? Now, there is an organization called, well, I'm going to say it in English, German Working Group of Genealogical Associations. And so this was put together as an umbrella organization for all the registered genealogy societies. This organization does not do research, but they do send queries to all of their members. So if you have a question and you don't know who to send it to, they will send it. And we have contact information. I'll explain that a little bit later. This is where the genealogies, the registered genealogies societies are that are within their organization in Germany. So you can see they have quite a few registered genealogy societies. They also are affiliated with all of the surrounding countries. Yes, I said countries. So we have Switzerland, Luxembourg, Holland. Let's see what else we got. Norway, Denmark. So you can see that they have a lot of associations with some of the other neighboring countries as well. France, I think, is on here too. So, what is the largest German genealogy group in Germany? It's this one. This is a formal registered genealogy society, and they run the super site compgen.de. That is actually a genealogy society, and they're the largest one in Germany. Now, I'm going to mention the partnership because in the partnership, you have the members like the organization, the DAGV that we just talked about, and a bunch of other genealogy societies are in this International German Genealogy Partnership, and there are a bunch that are not. Okay. The next conference is going to be hosted by the Palatines to America in 2025 in Columbus, Ohio. So just in case you're wondering where the next conference is going to be. If you look at this list, the very first one in this list is a working group, not a formal genealogy society. And it's the working group that helped us with translations when we had our Archeon training. This is the organization that helped us, a group of people that just like to help translate and help other societies out. So they have a website, and they're in the North Rhineland-Westphalia area of Germany in the town of Unna. Now, I want to point out that their meetings are in German, but they have YouTube video recordings with English subtitles. So you can actually watch some of their recordings of their meetings and get it in English. You have to read the subtitles, but you can at least get some of it in English, which is pretty nice for them to do. One of the members of this, I said, was born in Michigan, so she speaks perfect English. Okay, so that makes it also helpful. Some other North Rhineland-Westphalia. We're going to go around Germany, and here's a couple of other groups that are in that area. The second one, the West German Society for Family Studies. Most of the stuff is you have to be a member to see, unfortunately, with that group. So some of these websites you'll be able to see a lot, and some you'll only be able to see a little bit, not being a member of the society. And a couple other ones here. We have the West Munsterland one, which when they translate their website, it basically says a website is like an iceberg. About 90% of the content is in the members area. Okay, that's literally how it translates. So you can see what I kind of understand, what I mean there. Now, this next one, Roland, he is a character. He speaks perfect English. He literally dressed up in costume at the International Genealogy Society conference, and he is very good in English. If you have anybody that's in the North Rhineland, we have two wonderful contacts, Roland and the person I mentioned from Unna, the people I mentioned from Unna that speak very good English as well. So you've got it made if you need to contact that area of Germany. All right, Rhineland-Pfalz. We have a couple of societies. Actually, the State Museum in Birkenfeld has as an official genealogy society as well. And the second one here, this organization has a large archive in Ludwigshafen. I'm terrible with it, how to pronounce this names. But anyway, I was actually dropped in on that museum one time because I happened to be going in the area in about 2006. So it was a while ago. I was a little more inexperienced with how you should show up at these things, and I showed up without an appointment. Okay. So the guy was not really thrilled because I showed up without an appointment, but they have a very large immigrant database for this region. And so that's why I went there, because, I can find out about my immigrant ancestors from this region. And so I asked him if he spoke English. He said yes. And we said that we're from the Dallas area. He goes, "Oh, do you know that restaurant called Kubi's near Southern Methodist University?" And I'm like, "Yes." "Oh, that's my second cousin. He runs that." So I was like, "Okay." So anyway, he did not have anything on my family. So I actually ended up giving him stuff about the people from his area that left his area and went and gave him where they went to in the United States for his database. Because, I was hoping to get something out of it. Of course, I ended up giving him something instead. So I actually contributed to his database. They also, and I don't know if you can see the real small print, I tried to get this on there, but they have a place where non-members can search their surname to see if it's worth becoming a member of this group to get information about your immigrant ancestors. So if you have somebody in Rhineland-Pfalz, it's worth to just at least check to see if they've got your surname, and they may have information on your family. Okay. The next one, as we're going to talk about, is Lower Saxony. This is the largest Lower Saxony genealogy society. And it has a lot of items in it. It has library publications, collections. But if you hit that little US flag or British flag there, you will see absolutely nothing here. You will see nothing in the collections field. So I had to translate the page, and boom, all this stuff showed up instead of doing the little British button there. And so what I found here, this is the bad thing about doing this. I kept finding stuff I wanted to research. So it turns out that one of the church records they had abstracts for was one of my churches. So dumb. Okay, start, download, and start searching, and off track again. So they have some Ors Familia books and some information on Hanover and different things. Now they don't have all the church records. There was only a few. There was, so it's very very varied a little bit there. So, and if you have Oldenburg, this particular genealogy society has a list of all the resources for every parish around Oldenburg as of 1814, online free. Okay. It has local family books, parish directory, and I don't have people from this area because I couldn't check how complete this was, but if you have anybody in this area, check it out. They also have a little map that shows where all of the genealogies associations in northern Germany are. So you can maybe find the one closest to where you're researching and contact them or look at information that they might have on the line. This one is a town between Bremen and Hanover, a fairly large town, Verden, and they have a very large amount of information on their website as well, free of charge. And it goes through, they have this is finding aid for the old archives and different, information. Anyway, if you have anybody in that area between Bremen and Hanover, you may want to check out this genealogy society. So this is a smattering of some of the ones that had some good resources online to look at. They actually have, this is an association, and this is for heraldry in Lower Saxony. So if you are looking up heraldry, some people get a little interested in heraldry. This is a website that you may want to look at. Hamburg has a genealogy society as well. Now the bummer here is the database is for members only. So that's unfortunate, but they have a few reading lists and material that you can download, a little bit of material you can download, so you can at least look at it. Now, the second item in their list is immigration of Schleswig-Holstein families. And this is the Hamburg Genealogy Society. This is not the Schleswig-Holstein Genealogy Society, which we'll get to in a minute. So again, you see that some of these have information from other parts of Germany. Okay. And they have their library catalog and things like that, and associated libraries. All right, Schleswig-Holstein, which is always hard for me to say. There is a wonderful gentleman that speaks perfect English, and I want to point out that their YouTube is in English, which is awesome. So you can go to their YouTube. the SHFAM connection session, and you can see some of their stuff in English. They also have some YouTubes with English subtitles because the one guy at least speaks perfect English. Their library catalog is online as of 2021, and you can see what they have. So basically, what's in it for you? You can tell this guy speaks English well. They have a whole section on it here about, history of Schleswig-Holstein between the powers of Denmark, Prussia, understanding migration from the region, etc. So if you have somebody from this region, go here. And we can get you in touch with Klaus. There is a Flensburg has a large genealogy society and a database as well. And again, the Stamish is a working group. So this is a little working group that's working on this genealogical database. This one is Dithmarcher. Oh, I'm terrible at this. I'm sorry. Anyway, they have a genealogy society and a bunch of working groups in that region of Germany. And Schleswig-Holstein has a whole bunch of groups. I'm not going to go through all these. These are a whole bunch more genealogy societies in different towns in Schleswig-Holstein. And you can see the town names in some of these if that applies to you. Okay. Now we're going to go over to Demaus. Okay, Demaus. And I remember them talking about mouse all the time, and this is what they were talking about, and that's the Bremen genealogy group. This is a genealogy society, formal society. They have immigration information, citizenship registers, all kinds of stuff for Bremen. Did any of your ancestors go through Bremen? Go here. Okay. Just check it out. They may not have anything in your family, but it's worth a check. Okay. The next one is Mecklenburg. This is an genealogy association in Mecklenburg. They have free Ortsfamilie books or local family books. They may not have your town. Unfortunately, they didn't have mine. Of course, I looked. But you never know what you might find if you have some Mecklenburg. And it's both the older parts of Mecklenburg. Now we get to Pomerania, and you can again see the map. This is the whole part of Pomerania. This is the German group that actually works very well with the US group, that Pomeranian Interest Group, and this group work kind of hand in hand a lot of times. They know each other and are familiar with each other. This is run by Klaus again, perfect English. Anyway, he's one of the main people that speaks very good English. And this has a lot of information on it. You can put in a town name anywhere in that area, and it will tell you exactly what records are available, exactly where they are, and whether they're on Archeon, whether they're on Family Search, Ancestry, you have to go to a local church. Just a lot of information on this website for that region. And again, if you don't find anything on the website, we can get you in contact with them as well. East and West Prussia. This is the larger genealogy society for East and West Prussia, like a combination genealogy society. A lot of information here. There also is just working groups. This is first one's the East Prussia working group, and then the West Prussia working group. So they have different working groups for those areas as well. There also is the Polish version of West Prussia working group. And so this one is on the Polish. So I have to translate from Polish, but I'm not sure how the British flag, how well the British flag works here. So always test it, I'm always leery. I just do a page translation usually. All right. This one is working group of East German genealogists. So this one encompasses a lot of regions like Galicia, Schwaben, basically all those kind of areas, all in one kind of group. So it's something to look at if you have something in that area. Posen I could not find a genealogy group in Posen, but what I found was this, which is an organization that combines all the information that the genealogists are looking for in Posen. Okay, so it's called the Posen Project, basically. And I did find a working group for Posen, and that's what the Facebook page is. I did not find a website for them. I found a Facebook page for the working group in Posen, but you can probably contact the Posen Project as well. They have a lot of information there. Brandenburg. This gentleman was online during one of the connection sessions. We had a connection session at the conference on Brandenburg. His English is a little iffy, but I would check out this website. This website has a lot of like a gazetteer, genealogy resources, and it has databases, etc. Now, if I go over to and look at the database is actually at a different website here, and it is very extensive database. It was opened in 2005, so they've been collecting information for a long time. So there may be something of interest for you over here. Again, the civil registers, church registers, that kind of thing for Brandenburg. Baden-Württemberg. This is the main genealogy society for Baden-Württemberg. And again, most of the data requires membership. So unfortunately, that's the case in this particular society. There is a small amount of digital archive that's partially public, so it can give you an idea what they might have. And they do have working groups as well, and there may be one that you can contact. This is another organization where you have to translate the whole page because the British flag gives you absolutely nothing. And this is another Baden-Württemberg place that you can go and look for information, genealogy society kind of stuff. Okay, as immigrants, like immigration, emigration, research, etc. Right, the next one is Bavaria. This was a very overwhelming site. This had a lot of stuff on it. And basically, what do you want to do? Well, you can exchange with other researchers. You can research in general, research regionally, goes on and on. So we have church books online, digital library, all kinds of different things that you can look at here on this Bavaria website for free, which is, again, yay. Let's see here. So there's also Munich has its own little regulars table, as they call it, or working group. I want to translates to regulars table, but it's basically a little working group of Munich. Those are the two main ones I found. I didn't find a lot. There may be some other working groups or the societies that I've missed. The next one is Hesse. Hesse has a formal genealogy group as well, and this is their website. I did not see a lot available. They have archive holdings. I just didn't see a lot available free on their website, but there also are several working groups depending on what towns you have in the area. This is Kherson and Waldeck. There's Nassau and Frankfurt. So there's a couple different working groups also available in this region that have more information on their particular areas. This next one is just called Middle Germany. And it's a genealogy society. It's intended to cover Berlin, Brandenburg, Mecklenburg, Western Pomerania, Saxony, Anhalt, and Thuringia. How do you pronounce Thuringia? Whatever. Sure. Thuringia. Thank you. And so it's got all those little crests up there because it's supposed to cover all those different places. I did not explore this website a lot, but it does have information for those different areas. And there was not a lot on some of the bolded ones, Berlin, Saxony, and so on. There wasn't a lot of societies I could easily find. And I might have missed it, but I just didn't easily find them. but there are some working groups for different areas, like Dresden has a society. Göttingen has a genealogy society. So there's a few smaller ones around this area. There's also a heraldry association in Berlin, and Leipzig has its own genealogy society too. Then there's little ones like a working group in Magdeburg and a working group and you're going to pronounce Thüringen, whatever again. Thuringian. I keep saying that wrong. I'm sorry. Now, some of them, like this particular one, the immigration pointed to an Ashwander for the region, which is always helpful if you find one of those, because it might give somebody going to America or something like that. So some of the immigration information can be very good that's online. The next one is Lippe. And when I translate, I put the German page up here as well as the translated English, because when you translate it to English, it smushed it all together and you couldn't hardly tell what it was, but it was all nicely formatted when it was in German. So you can see that it has different things like family names in Lippe. Let's see, what do we got here? Old ordinances, immigration, different things like that. So if you have somebody from this region, check out this genealogy society. It may be something that can help you. Saarland has a genealogy society, and I clicked on data and sources, and they have databases and search services and regional local representations. So they basically, I think it's close to members mostly, but there's a little bit of information online for this region. Okay. Then we have like Franconia, which you don't hear about much anymore. Franconia, I don't hear about it much, but anyway, that's in Nuremberg, Germany, and that's a genealogy society for Franconia. And then there's a whole bunch of other ones. Some of them are little, some of them are big, but I think I kind of touched on most of the main regions around Germany. So you've got a bunch of German genealogy societies, and they have all kinds of names. There's not one word that you can really easily search for and find them. Okay. So the underlined words here are the most common words, especially the bottom one, when it's an association, or the E, little e dot, capital V dot, that means it's a formal genealogy society. So typically, if you put the name of the city or the area that you're looking for and a descriptor like genealogy or family history and one of these other terms, it may pop up with something, for the town or region that you're looking for. That's the best I can tell you if you're going to try to search on your own, because they're just never spelled the same. So you can see by some of the titles. Now, I want to give you an example, though. This recently came through the IGGP. We get an email because we're a member association. And there was a query that somebody sent, and it was, oh, my great-grandfather so-and-so was born in Bavaria on such and such a date, died such and such a place in Ohio, and immigrated on this ship. I've found that everything says Bavaria. And as you know, Bavaria is a very large place. So there's hundreds of churches. I'm going to Germany. I was hoping to find his birthplace. Okay. Yeah. The only information I've not found is the 1870 census and more immigration records. Any suggestion for when I get there or before? And hopefully you're saying like, oh my God. Because a search like this has a 99% probability of working. Okay. So this was actually sent in, and basically don't do that. You need to not say, I found everything, but you need to say, what did you find? Do you have like people who were witnesses at, other surnames? Do you have, any, like, Christian? Are you Catholic? Or, what religion are you? I mean, just anything, parents, siblings, anything that you can possibly get, that's, friends' names, whatever, that you can possibly add to your query. So what happened? I'm going to tell you what happened. This guy was extremely lucky because one of the researchers in Bulgaria put the name in, and they didn't find him in any of the standard databases, right? Well, somebody had done a court summons to declare him legally dead because he never contacted them back home. And so there was one record that said that they wanted to legally declare him deceased because he's missing since the time of their emigration. And it gave his parents' names and the town. Wow. It was like, not very 99% chance of nothing. And he actually got something from it. But by the time that the researcher had looked at it, he wasn't sure if the gentleman had already come to Germany or not, because he had looked at all the other normal stuff first, and just, with the vague name that he had, and could not find anything. So it took a while for him to check this more obscure source of a court summons. So we have email addresses for all the member societies of IGGP. We have we can send messages to them individually, or we can send a mass question list to all of IGGP, or to just the official societies. We have access to contact information on the website in the private section of the IGGP website. You need to formulate your question. If you have a question and you're stuck, if you know what organization you wish to contact, we can probably get you in contact with them especially if they're a member of IGGP. And so we can help you with these queries. If you're stuck, I would try to get as much information as possible. Now, if you'd rather go to a professional researcher, I have only 2 slides on that. One is the IGGP has professional researchers that can research in Germany. Andrea Beckschneider is not going to be cheap. So this is, if you hire somebody versus going through the working groups and the genealogy societies, it is going to cost you more money. Okay. They also have a website for the professional genealogists in Germany. And this is where the professional genealogists, the professional genealogists are. And so that's kind of another option if you want to do that. But forming a query, and it could even be a small written up like list of things that you know and things that you don't know. What is your question? And to make sure to say, what is your question? I want to know this, or do you have the church records for this person? Or, make your query very specific, and we can probably help you. So that's all I have. So is there anybody that has any questions?
I know it's a dumb question. How you kept saying translate the whole page because the button didn't work for British flag. How do you translate the whole page? Is that like an option in the browser?
It can be, yes. So I have Chrome. I don't know which browser you have.
Chrome. Yeah.
Okay. So what I do is I click in the page and do a right click, and it says translate into English, and it will do a Google translation, which isn't perfect, but at least can translate the page. So just get to the page, like somewhere down in the text, do a right click, and then it will come up with translate to English.
How cool is that? I never knew about right clicking in my browser. Who knew? Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, it does work on Edge as well. Let's see, were there any questions in the chat? Okay. Wow. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? I hope you reach out to German genealogy societies or contact us to reach out for you. And I think we can probably help each other. That's what it's all about in genealogy societies. Okay, so I think we're going to maybe stop recording.
This has been a production of the Dallas Genealogical Society. If you're already a member, thank you. Your fees have been supporting these and other society activities. If you're not yet a member, please consider joining now. Go to dallasgenealogy.org and click on the membership tab.